Stop caring. Become dangerous. Most people spend their entire lives trying to be liked. They shrink themselves. They soften their edges. They swallow their opinions at dinner tables. They apologize for existing too loudly. And they call it kindness. But it isn't kindness. It's fear wearing a costume. Today, we're going to talk about something that makes people uncomfortable. Something the self-help world doesn't want to sell you, because it doesn't come in a pretty package. We're going to talk about what happens when you stop caring what people think of you. Not the fake version. Not the Instagram quote version. The real version. The version that cracks you open like marble and lets the fire out. Stay with me. This one is going to change something in you. Welcome back. If you're new here, I'm glad you found this channel. What we do here is different. We don't sugarcoat. We don't hand you empty affirmations. We go into the deep end together. And if this kind of content speaks to you, hit that subscribe button right now. Because everything on this channel is built for people who are done playing small. More on that at the end. Let's get into it. Part 1: The lie you were told. From the moment you were old enough to understand language, someone was programming you. Your parents meant well. Your teachers meant well. Society meant well. But meaning well and doing well are two very different things. You were told, be nice, be agreeable, don't rock the boat, don't be too much, don't be too loud, don't ask for too much. You were handed a checklist for being palatable. For being easy to digest. For making other people comfortable at the cost of your own power. And here's what nobody told you. Every time you shrunk to fit someone else's comfort zone, you carved a little piece of yourself away. Every apology you didn't need to give. Every opinion you swallowed. Every dream you didn't mention because you were afraid of the look on their face. Gone. Not forever. But buried. The Stoics understood this. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who ruled one of the most powerful empires in human history, wrote in private to himself, not for glory, not for publication, just to remind himself of what was real. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He wasn't talking about being emotionless. He wasn't talking about becoming cold. He was talking about something far more radical. He was talking about becoming unaffectable. Part 2: What "stop caring" actually means. Let's be honest about what this phrase is not. Stopping caring does not mean becoming cruel. It does not mean treating people badly. It does not mean walking through the world with contempt dripping off your shoulders. That's not power. That's a wounded person pretending to be free. Real freedom, the kind we're talking about, is quieter than that. It looks like the man who walks into a room and doesn't scan it for approval. It looks like the woman who makes a decision and doesn't spend 3 days wondering if everyone liked it. It looks like the person who pursues something completely unreasonable, because they decided it mattered to them, and they stopped needing permission. Epictetus, who was born a slave and became one of the greatest philosophers in history, understood this better than almost anyone. He had nothing. Literally nothing. His owner once broke his leg to prove a point. And Epictetus looked at him and said, "You can break my leg, but you cannot break me." That is what we're talking about. Not indifference to life. Indifference to the opinions of people who do not control your destiny. Part 3: The cost of caring too much. Let's talk about what happens to people who never stop caring what others think. They become the most talented people in the room who never raise their hand. They become the most creative people in the building who never submit the project. They become the most capable people in the relationship who never ask for what they need. They die with the music still inside them. And I don't mean that metaphorically. There is actual research, and those of us who sit with people in their final days know this. The most common regret people have on their deathbeds is not the things they did. It's the things they didn't do. Because they were afraid of what someone would say. Think about that. You will one day be at the end of your story. And the question you will ask yourself is not, "Did I make everyone comfortable?" The question will be, "Did I live? Did I show up? Did I take the risk? Did I say the thing?" Part 4: The Marble and the Fire. Look at the image that opens this video. A statue. Marble. Cracked open. And through those cracks, fire. That image is not just aesthetic. It's a philosophy. Most of us walk through life as the uncracked statue. Smooth. Polished. Presentable. And we keep everything inside: the fire, the anger, the ambition, the grief, the desire, the wildness. We keep it all locked behind the marble because we learned early that fire makes people uncomfortable. But marble without fire is just decoration. You were not put here to be decorative. The Stoics didn't preach numbness. They preached discipline over reaction, which is entirely different. They felt everything. They burned. But they chose what that fire fueled. Marcus Aurelius grieved the deaths of multiple children. He experienced betrayal, war, plague, political scheming. He wasn't a marble statue. He was a man on fire who had learned to direct the heat. That's the transformation available to you. Not the elimination of feeling. The redirection of it. Part 5: Becoming Dangerous. Now let's talk about that word. Dangerous. People flinch at it. Good. Because the dangerous person I'm describing is not violent. Not aggressive. Not threatening. The dangerous person is the one who has decided they are no longer available for your manipulation. The dangerous person is the one who doesn't need your approval to feel worthy. The dangerous person is the one who has gotten quiet, genuinely quiet, because they stopped spending energy on noise that didn't matter and started spending it on things that do. You know what makes someone truly dangerous in this world? Clarity. When you stop needing everyone's opinion, you get clear. You stop second-guessing. You stop circling. You stop waiting for someone to give you permission that was always yours to give yourself. And a clear person who has stopped caring about the noise is someone that cannot be manipulated. Cannot be guilted. Cannot be moved by pressure that doesn't align with their values. That is dangerous. Not to good people. Not to the world. But to systems that depend on your compliance. To relationships that depend on your smallness. To versions of yourself that were built on fear. You become dangerous to everything that was keeping you small. Part 6: The Practice. How you actually get there. This doesn't happen overnight. Let me be clear about that. Anyone selling you a shortcut to radical self-possession is selling you a fantasy. But there are real, practical things that shift the way you move through the world. The first is the daily audit. Every evening, for just 5 minutes, ask yourself, whose approval did I seek today that I didn't need? Not as self-criticism. As information. You're training yourself to see the pattern. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. The second is voluntary discomfort. Epictetus taught that if you never practice being uncomfortable, discomfort will always control you. Do something every week that makes you look uncertain. Make a decision in public without apologizing for it. Share an opinion that you know won't land perfectly. Post the thing. Say the thing. Start small. Build the muscle. The third is the inner circle filter. Make a list, mentally or physically, of the people whose opinions of you actually matter. Not because they're nice. Because they're wise, they're honest, they love you without needing you to be small, and they are living in a way that you respect. How many people are genuinely on that list? Most people, when they do this honestly, get to 5. Maybe less. From this point forward, those are the only opinions that get a seat at the table of your decisions. Everyone else's voice gets acknowledged and released. Like smoke. Like weather. The fourth, and this is the one most people skip, is grief. You have to grieve the version of you that was built around approval. That version served you. It protected you at a time when you needed protection. It helped you survive environments where being too much was genuinely dangerous. But it is not who you are. And to become who you are, you have to let go of who you were trained to be. That's not easy. It might bring up tears. It might bring up anger. Let it. That's the marble cracking. That's the fire finding its way out. Part 7: What's on the other side? I want to tell you what waits for you if you do this work. Not fame. Not necessarily success in the traditional sense. What waits for you is presence. The ability to be in your life, actually in it, instead of watching it from behind the glass of everyone else's expectations. What waits for you is relationships that are real, because you stopped performing and started showing up, and the people who stayed after that. They actually see you. What waits for you is creative output that surprises even you, because when you stop filtering everything through the question of, will this be accepted? And start asking, is this true? Something completely different comes out. What waits for you is energy. You have no idea how much energy you spend managing perceptions until you stop. It's like putting down a weight you forgot you were carrying. Part 8. A word to the person who's been waiting. Maybe you've been circling something for a long time. A conversation you haven't had. A project you haven't started. A life you've been designing in your head but haven't stepped into because the timing isn't right, or the money isn't right, or you're not ready, or what will they think? I want to speak directly to you. The timing will never be perfect. You will never feel completely ready. And what they think will change tomorrow regardless of what you do today. The only variable you actually control is whether you begin. Not perfectly. Not with the whole plan mapped out. Just begin. The marble cracks before the fire shows. You don't get to see what's inside until something breaks you open a little. And the breaking? That's not the end of you. That's the beginning. If something in this video moves something in you, don't let it dissolve in the scroll. Sit with it. Come back to it. And if you want more of this, real conversations, real philosophy, real tools for becoming someone who is genuinely free, subscribe to this channel. That's why this channel exists. Not for entertainment. For transformation. Every week we go deeper. Every week we come at this from a new angle. Every week I am going to challenge something you thought you knew about yourself. You found this video for a reason. Don't leave without subscribing. And share this with someone who needs it, someone who's been playing small, someone who's been waiting for permission, someone who is close to cracking open. They deserve to know what's on the other side. I'll see you in the next one.